Morning.
Morning, Nancy.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. And you?
Fine, thank you.
Fine, fine.
Fine. Okay. Okay, once again, good morning to everybody here in Colombia. Good afternoon, evening to those of you who have different time. My name is Maria Isabel. I'm the internationalization leader, and I'm here very happy to be part of this amazing challenge too. Okay, what I want to say is like besides greeting you and welcoming you again to this wonderful project, I want to explain some changes that we have been making. Sometimes in the teams, you will see that, but I'm not in this team anymore, and I don't know why they're not organized, it's a mess. No, it's not because it's a mess, it's because we have a lot of participants wanting to be part of the project. And of course, we closed registration. Yes, we did. But we want to give everybody the opportunity to participate. So we're like doing our best to have teams that are like efficient and where everybody can like take an active role. So if you have seen any changes, it's not because we don't know like how to organize you, but it's because we're doing our best to have like the most efficient teams we can have. We could actually make a few more changes, but it's not like, so I don't know what my team is going to be. No, I mean, we're doing our best to have like a lot of participation, and we're very happy to have had so much like interest from all of you. So once again, I just want to apologize if you have felt like uncomfortable because we have made some small changes, but that's the only purpose. It has a very, very good purpose, and every suggestion you have is more than welcome here in our team, okay? So Lady is going to share with us what we're going to do today, and then we're going to be working with Lars. She will explain everything to you, but it's going to be a very, very profitable session, okay? Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. So I'm going to present you a short summary because last Monday we had a first online session. Let me know, give me a second. I am going to share with you the screen. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Ah,
Let's see.
okay.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes, yes, yes.
Okay, perfect. I am going to share with you general information because today we have a new teams, new teachers and students. That's why it's important to share with you this information. As you know, Medellin Challenge is an international project that have for purpose to empower our youngsters around the world, and the idea is that the students can solve a different challenge and at the same time develop different skills, right? Okay, as you know, we have three important challenges, okay? Each challenge is for each commune from Medellin, Colombia. The first challenge is related to public service in Commune 14. I know that some teams selected the challenge, but don't worry. We have more time to select these teams, right? The second challenge is related to food sovereignty in Commune 13. And also we have the next challenge is related to reduce the school dropout in Commune 4. It's important to know that we have three real world problems related to each commune, and the idea is each team solve the challenge that the teams want select, right? In general, I am going to share with you the methodology. As you know, we have for methodology design for change. It's important to say that for each stage, related to design for change, we are going to have a general session. For example, we have our first meeting related to field. What is field? Field is related to try to understand the problematic. And today we are going to have a meeting related to imagine with a teacher from Europe. And that's why it's important to have right now a pen. Okay, the next online session is related to do. In this session, we are going to have or we are going to learn about how can prototype, and share is the last session online when we are going to learn about how to design a video pitch. But remember, it's important to share this information. In addition to those 4 online sessions, each team is going to plan their own meeting to solve the challenge. But remember that Maria Isabel said with you during the day, I am going to share with you information related to some change in each team, right? It's important to share with you information in general related to online stage and on-site stage. Okay, we have some steps for our online session. For example, we have the first step related to registration. The second step was launching the Medellín challenge, and currently we have in the solving the selected challenge. That's why today we are going to learn about how to create better ideas, how you can solve the problem related to disruptive ideas, right? And the next step is sending the video pitch. During this week, I am going to share with you important information related to how you can design innovative video pitch, how you can create between together different speech related the challenge select, right? And we have a last step is related to iterating the solution in Medellín, and that's why Maria Isabel can share with you some general information related to the on-site stage. But remember, I am going to share with you right now the dates for each online session. The first online session was in February the 20th. Today we are going to have the second online session, but the next session will be the March the 2, and the last online session in general will be March the 8th, right? I don't know if Maria Isabel want to share with the teams general information related to the stage on site.
Okay, now and about the online, the only conclusion I can come up with is remember you can have other meetings. Those are the 4 meetings we are setting for the online stage. But I know and we know you're gonna need to get together more often to discuss, to come up with a solution, to do everything you have to do as a team. So feel free to organize them with your team leaders, okay? And for the on-site, what I can tell you is that we're doing our best. We're working hard to provide a safe environment for our students, right? We know it's a big event, but we need to make sure and to understand that we're making sure students will always be with adults. They will always be taken care of, and the school will be responsible for them. Okay, was it off? Sorry, the microphone went off for a while, so we're just like, conclusion is we are working hard to provide security and safety and make you feel at home, welcome, and enjoy this beautiful city.
Okay, and last important thing is share with you information related to virtual campus. Last day, I sent the password and username to some teams, but don't worry, during the day, I am going to send you to the other schools because it's necessary to have information related to email for each student, and that's why I need to have this information, okay? And I am going to show you the virtual campus. This is the virtual campus, and as you know, we have in the stage field. What is field? In this space, you can find all the information related to how you can empathize. For example, remember, according to the challenge that your team selected, you can find information related, for example, to Commune 13, Commune 4, all the information you can find in this place. This is the video, this is the test, this is the biography related to each commune. And it's important to say that each team should upload an important information related to the problem. Currently, we have in field stage. That's why each team should upload in this space the problematic selected. For example, if you choose Commune 13, you need to know about this commune, you need to understand the problematic, and in this case, you can upload one team member need to upload the information related to empathy map, related to all the information about the problem. But don't worry, I am going to send you all the dates for upload this information in virtual campus. Okay, this is the virtual campus, and it's important to share with you the on-site stage. I am going to share with you in general what we'll visit in May, and that's why this is the select teams arrived in Medellín, Colombia. It's important to know this data because we need to know what teams will come to Medellín in May. This is the agenda. I am going to share with you the agenda for all the days. We are going to have 4 days related to solve the problem in Medellín. If you need to know about how you can work in this day, please send me an email. I am going to planning a meeting with you, and it's important to hear what is your question, what information do you need related, for example, with hotel, related to meal, related to transportation. I don't know if Maria Isabel want to share with us information related to on-site stage in May.
No, I think it's just what I told you before. We're being very careful with like the hotel selection, and meals are gonna be taken care of, and transport, you're gonna be using like private buses. You're gonna be with us like under supervision, and not only that, but protection from adults, because we know we're like very responsible and we're a big school and we know how to work with these things. So basically, it's just to give you like that sense of confidence. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. You can email Lakey, or you can like type in the chat, and then we'll check all the questions you have, and we will answer them properly, okay? So I think today we're gonna have Lars, right?
Yes.
Lars is a very special guest. He's well, actually, currently he lives in Denmark, and he knows a lot about the methodology, and he wants to share with us all his knowledge about this process. So we're gonna have him like in a few minutes. He's gonna
Yes.
be with us for like
In
maybe an
5
hour or
minutes,
so.
more or less. I don't know if Lars is here right now.
Maybe he hasn't connected yet, but we just want to introduce him. He's an expert on education, very innovative. He's always into technology and changes in education, and he's a very, very creative person. So we know you're going to enjoy his lecture or his conversation, because he doesn't really like lecturing, more like speaking. But since we have so many participants, of course, feel free to type the questions in the chat, and we will ask him if we have time, or we'll have all the questions answered at the end. And he will also be a part of the event here in Medellín, so it's a good thing to have him today.
Yes, and another thing is important to say you that the connection with each team, one teacher from San Jose de Las Vegas School is going to send you all the information related to the first meeting with each team, right? It's important to know if Sofia Londoño is here, because it's important to know that if our leader, commission leader is here. Yes, Lucia, you can think in other tools, not only an empathy map. You can design other ways to understand the problematic. It's important to keep in mind that we have different activities. No problem. Sophie is here, Sofia Londoño.
Hi, lady. I'm with.
Hola. Hi.
Yeah,
Okay. It's important that listen to. Can you hear me, Sophie?
yes.
Sofia Vázquez or Sofia Londoño?
Lady, we are all together. We are Sofía Ardila, Ana, Sofía Vázquez, Sofía Londoño, and Valeria Hurtado together.
Okay. Do you want to share some information, some important information with your teams, or what do you need? And it's important to know that in the virtual campus, you can find all the information related to how you can design an empathy map, right? Okay, I am going to Sophie. Ignacio.
Ignacio, you're raising your hand. Do you have any question? Let's hope Lars Johnson. So this is the link.
Yes, during the day, I am going to send you all the information for each commune. We are going to send information related to interview, related to, for example, papers.
And about the empathy map too.
Yes.
Some information on how to work on the empathy map. So yes, during the day in that email, you will find information about that.
And in the virtual campus, you can find the same information that I am going to send you today, okay?
You know how to access the virtual campus.
Yes, during the day, because we have new teachers and new students, and it's important to know that we need to have all the information.
Okay, let me read this question from Ignacio, because I think it's very interesting. It says, can you go down a little bit? Oh, wow. It says, one question, if we get to go to Medellín, to which individuals, where we present our product creative idea that relates to the challenge chosen. Okay, you'll be sharing your idea with the commune.
Yes.
Of course, because you will be in touch with the leaders. It's not only like discussing, but being there and knowing the situation, talking to leaders, and then presenting them or sharing with them the solution you came up with. And of course, to the other people in the Medellín challenge, but most importantly, to the people in the community you selected.
Yes, and you are going to have the opportunity to visit each commune and the community leaders, right?
Yes, we're going to send the list of students. Yes, like I said at the beginning, of course, we are working on like the most efficient way to divide the teams. But yes, we are sending the final team members very soon. Okay, we were just meeting on Monday, and neither of our students were in any group. Okay, how should not they are in any of those groups created? Yeah, they will be groups for sure. I don't know why they were not, but of course we will do what we have to do to have them in a group. Is one team chosen to go to Medellín? How many team members are able to attend? Okay, that's from Purdue University Polytechnic. Yes, well, the idea is that when we select a group that comes here, it's 3 students and one teacher that we sponsor. I mean, we don't pay for tickets, but we pay for accommodation and meals. So we're talking about the teams that are selected will come with 3 students and one teacher, and we'll pay for accommodation, meals, and transport around the city. And of course, participation in the whole event.
Okay, Sophie, raise your hand.
Okay, Sophie.
Yes, lady. I was gonna say that I think the most important part for this stage is to keep communication active, like between the team leaders, hosts, and the team members, and of course the teachers. So the thing is, I know sometimes people can get nervous about asking things, but what I want to get is that if you have any question, just ask your team leader, your host, anyone, because that's the most important part in order to solve the challenge.
Yeah, excellent, Sophie. You're right. You can feel free to ask as many times as you need. I mean, we're super extra patient and we like to explain again things over and over again. That's not a problem. Okay. Lars, are you already here?
Great. I'm sharing with you the email because if you have any question, if you have know about the travel in May, it's important that you can send me an email. I am going to plan in a meeting with you, right? Give me a second. I am going to call to Lars because we need to start with the ideation session. Ignacio, raise your hand. Do you have any question?
Yes, you mentioned that only 3 students will be attending from each team to Medellin. But how would you choose those 3 students for each team?
I can hear you, Ignacio. Your microphone.
Maybe you have 2 devices connected to the same meeting, so that causes a problem in the audio.
I don't think so.
Try again. Try again, Ignacio, please.
the question, or okay, so you mentioned that only 3 students will be attending Medellin. However, how will you choose those 3 members, as there are more members in each team? Is it like by like participation wise, or like who, you know?
Well, that's something, well, what we said is not only 3 people are coming to Medellin, no, we're saying like each team that we bring and we sponsor is gonna be made of 3 students and 1 teacher, but we might have maybe up to 6 teams more or less. And we have like a team of experts that will make that selection, but it's the school itself. I mean, I think that's an internal decision, because if you have like 10 students participating, but only 3 of you can represent your institution, I think that would be a more like internal decision than ours, because we don't really like know you, right? So I think what we can say is like, okay, each team is 3 students. If you have like 10, then you will have to select them and tell us who will be coming, right? Is that clear, Ignacio? Was it clear?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, Ignacio.
Okay, give me a second because Lars is trying to connect to this meeting, right? Give me a second.
Do we join the lectures, or
Okay, Lars have a problem, but I am going to call again. Lars, can you hear me? Good morning. No.
Is there?
Yes,
yes.
Lars.
Ah.
Good morning.
Your microphone is off. It's mute.
Yes.
No problem.
No
There we
problem.
go. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Excellent.
Perfect.
Lars. So everybody hear how interesting you are and how
How about you?
creative.
Yeah, well, I'm super excited to do this. So, how's your challenge coming along?
Everything is going well. Of course, we're making adjustments and things because that's the way things are in life in general. But
Yes.
we're working hard to
Yes,
make
I
it
know
work.
you are. Yes.
Okay, Lars.
That's
So
the best.
welcome. Everybody's very excited to have you here. Thank you very much for your time. We know you're a really busy person, but we're like willing to learn from you. So go ahead.
I present to you the Medellin Challenge team, teachers and students, and go ahead.
Amazing. So the first thing I just need to do is to share my screen here, because being visual is going to help everybody, I believe. In
Your microphone, Lars. I can hear you. Lars, I can hear you.
One second. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes,
Yes.
perfect.
Okay, that's good. So let's get into this. Good morning, everybody in Medellín,
good morning.
and
Good morning.
good afternoon in Spain and Qatar. So I believe these are some of the locations, at least, that everybody's joining from today. So if you're from anywhere else, then I'm not aware yet. So please apologize. Apologize for that. I would love to know all about where you're coming from. I personally am dialing in today from Copenhagen, which you see on the map here, and I have been attempting to put Qatar and Spain and Colombia on the world map here. If I failed, then I will definitely join the next geography lesson together with anybody who needs it as much as I do. So here's the world map for the MEDELLÍN Challenge 2023. All right, what I would love you to do, first of all, before we really get started here, is to write your name in the chat here in Teams. Can you do that for me? I would love that interaction. So please write your name, your own name in the chat. Just use your first name, whatever name that you use on a daily basis. So at least that will help me to get to know your name and also to check how many of you are actually able actively to write to me in the chat, right? Because some of you may be sharing a computer or looking at a big screen without being able to actually interact with me, and that's also okay. So go ahead and write your name in the chat. Now, let's get into this. So we woke up this morning, and the first decision we had to make was we could stay in bed and continue to dream, right? All day, stay in bed, just dream. That's easy. That's really nice. Or we could choose to get up and go to school to make our dreams come true. And that's what you each decided to do this morning. I want to congratulate you for that decision, because that is the only decision really that's the right one if we want to improve our life and if we want to make our planet, countries, and cities better places to live now and in the next few years and in the future, where your children and my children will also need, for example, water to drink, water that's clean, air to breathe. We need a good health, we need good education, and so much more. So the decisions we make every day does affect if our world actually gets better or worse, right? It's really in our hands. And you're the ones making things better by being here, by participating in the MEDELLÍN Challenge. And I'm honored to meet you all. You're the stars. You're the ones that can one day, someday, tell your friends, your children, and others that the project you did here in the MEDELLÍN Challenge actually solved some really big challenges and made life so much better for the future, right? So my name is Lars. I'm from an organization called Educate for Life. I will be your facilitator today. And we have 60 minutes together, so I will be doing my very best to stay within this time limit and to take you through some exercises that is going to help you in your imagination and your ideation process in this challenge. So this will be step by step. I want you to stay with me. I want you to listen carefully. I want you to work individually in this session. Now, this sounds a little bit weird because we're working in teams and we're working on a big challenge for a big city and for humanity. But everything you do in this session while working individually is something you will bring back to your team right after this session, and something you can work with in the coming time in the rest of this MEDELLÍN Challenge, okay? So it's absolutely okay. You will work individually, but we'll work on the same challenge. Okay. So you have already in your earlier stage. I need to get my mouse to work now. I'm not sure why this is. Here we are. It's working now. There we go. So you have completed the first of the 4 stages in the FITS methodology that we're using, the feel. That's what you have done already. So you have chosen a challenge that you want to work on solving in this challenge, right? You work in groups and you know the challenge you're working on. Now, when you are creating new solutions, and we'll start to imagine today new solutions, what they can look like, you're not only solving problems for people in Medellín, that's great enough, but you're actually also showing the rest of the world how they too can solve these kind of challenges for people in their parts of the world. We're all very similar, right? We have similar dreams, similar needs. We are capable of accomplishing similar things if we decide to take action. And we are here, we are taking action. So we are ready to start working on the 3 challenges. Let me just summarize from what I've heard. The first challenge is how to generate sustainable alternatives that allow equitable access to public services. And then there's a specific commune, district in Medellín where this is going to happen, right? Then the second challenge that you have chosen is, and some of you have chosen, is how to generate strategies or tools that promote food sovereignty. And this is in commune 13 in Medellín. And then the third, but not least, the challenge of what strategies or tools can be implemented to reduce school dropouts amongst children. And this would be focused on commune 4 in the city of Medellín. But you all know that way better than I do. I was just here summarizing what I know about the challenges that you have decided to be working on. And I'm very excited about the challenges that you have decided to share. So just before we dive into the imagination part of this session, there's like 5 things that I would like you to keep in mind when you begin to imagine what could we possibly do to solve these challenges. There are 5 things. Let me quickly touch on them. The first is try to think global and then test local, right? So actually what I mean here is you're not only solving these challenges in Medellín, although that's great enough, but think globally. And the reason I encourage you to think globally when you're testing locally is you might see the same challenge happening elsewhere on this planet, right? It's actually pretty likely that the same challenge is found many other places on the planet. It's also likely that somebody's already also working on solving a similar challenge somewhere else. So think global. That in itself helps you to realize I should maybe reach out to others on this planet who might work on the same challenge. We could compare notes, we could discuss, learn from each other, maybe work together. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing I want you to keep in mind is to always try to make big changes with what you do. Design for big impact. Okay, small impact is already happening in many parts of the world. Amongst the many challenges we have that we share as humanity, there is really happening some progress, some improvements on many of the challenges, but they are small improvements very often. And we don't feel that we have time enough to just keep waiting until somebody someday have solved it. We have decided to take action. I ask you, encourage you to take big action, design for big change, be bold, be ambitious with this. Okay? The third thing is always to do your research. Research doesn't have to be something scientific. Research can be to do some search on the internet for what is already happening in terms of trying to solve this problem. Are there solutions already to the problem we are trying to solve? What are those solutions? Where are they? Who's doing it? Right? So do your research, come up with ideas, do your research. Research also means talk to people. You probably did already. You will surely in the next phase of this challenge, in the do phase, you will certainly talk to people to understand, are you coming up with the right approach to solve this challenge? Okay, so talk to people, do your search, look in literature, reports, articles, all of that. Do your research. The fourth thing, science facts is what I call it. It was once science fiction, something we would see in a movie or read in a book, which was about this crazy future where everything was so different. Actually, a lot of what has been written about in science fiction and movies we have seen, a lot of these things are actually happening in reality today. They have become science facts. So things are actually possible today that wasn't possible in the past. And if it's not possible today, probably it's going to be possible soon. So if you come up with a crazy idea today, or in the coming days or weeks or months or years, don't discard it. Don't, and certainly don't discard other people's ideas for being crazy. Crazy is tomorrow's reality. Then finally, the fifth thing I want to recommend that you keep in mind is to be purposeful. Do something out of your purpose. Now, this really means that you're doing things for a reason which is not only about money or about practical daily life things. There's a bigger meaning behind this. That bigger meaning tends to attract a lot of other people that will love to work with you and support you in your work because they share and work on a similar purpose. The purpose is really important. Purpose is also what gives us energy to get us up every morning, to keep working hard to solve these challenges. That purpose is the fuel, the energy in all of us. So do something because it's purposeful, okay? These are the 5 things that I want to recommend you to try out and to follow. Now here, maybe this is where you start to think, this guy from Denmark, he's crazy. What is this slide now about? This write your own movie. What is this about? All right. So you will be doing incredible things that you would never have imagined you could do. In this very challenge, you will find yourself doing incredible things. You could never have imagined this. It's a bit like being in a movie. Actually, I want to invite you now into a fun way of doing the beginning of this imagination work. Here we go. I'm going to give you the first challenge of this session. You will each be writing 3 new movie titles. Okay, each of you. So this is the first thing you're going to accomplish in this session. The other thing you're going to accomplish in this session is you're going to create, in addition to 3 new movie titles, you will create 18 new solutions to the challenges that you're working on. 18 new solutions, each of you. Woo! Can we do this? Well, I say you can. I know you can. So I'm here to help you through these steps, okay? I'm going to take you step by step through these exercises. And you work alone, as I said, with me here, but you are going to regroup with your team, probably right after my session here, or sometime later today. And you're going to regroup with your team, and then you bring with you what you have created in the session, and you discuss it. But I'll tell you exactly what to do later in this session. You're also going to learn some specific exercises that we are using starting in just a moment. These exercises are something you can and probably should do again and again and again. So you're learning some specific ways to do ideation, something that you should do again and again and again, also after this session. Okay, here we go. Let me introduce you to your business of today. Our business of today. I will introduce you to the San Jose de Las Vegas Film Productions. This is the company that we all work in, okay? And this film production company is more than just producing films. It's really about caring greatly about creating a better future for us all. That's what your movies are all about. This is about inspiring the world to create a better future. Your job, each of you, you're hired as title writers, right? That's your specialty. You will write the title of a movie. And a title could be Titanic, right? I don't know what your favorite movie is. My personal favorite movie is called The Big Blue. In French, it's called Le Grand Bleu. It's about the wonders of the ocean and some free divers. That's another story. What's really fascinating about being a title writer is that you can come up with any title. It may or may not work, but it's you who decide what the title should be, right? Then later you will discuss it. You will talk to people who watch movies to see if they like it. But today you decide. Nobody will say no to your titles today. What you need to do, however, is to write down the titles that comes to mind, right? So I'll take you through the exercise. What you're going to need in the rest of this session is some paper. And I did share beforehand. I hope you got the message to have some paper ready. And paper is something pretty old school like me. But it does help in these particular exercises. It's really quick to either draw with a pen, right, or write, whatever. Super easy and fast, which is why we're doing it on paper today. So make sure to have some paper ready. 1 or 2 pieces of paper is enough. 2 is probably ideal, but if you just have 1 piece of paper, it's okay. It can be an A4, like I have here. It could also just be a notebook if that's what you have. That's also fine enough, okay? So as you see here on my screen, we are all about everything in life, really, making the future better. And when it comes to the food that we have access to protecting ourselves from fire, to keep our drinking water clean, healthcare, having good doctors around, waste management, keeping a happy community, having sports activities, good education, not too much transportation and wasted time. I think we're not doing so well always on that, etc. So we are producing all sorts of films, all sorts of movies, and you will be creating some titles for our new movies. Now, the first exercise we're going to do now is that each of you will write the title for a movie which is generally about a great future for Medellín. Okay? And there are 3 themes, and we're going, all of us, to work on all 3 themes. We're going to do it step by step together. So stay with me. So Yeah, I know it's crazy. You thought I will never be a movie title writer, and here we are. You are now a movie title writer. So if you think it sounds too good to be true, well, it's true, nevertheless. So let's dive into this. We are going to make a movie title, each of us, for each of the 3 challenges that you are solving in this MEDELLÍN challenge. Okay, so let's do the first one. The first challenge that some of the groups in the challenge are working on, I call it topic 1 because it's the first I heard of. It's called equitable access to public services. Now, I'm really excited that you're working on this challenge, right? We all need access, for example, to hospitals, to doctors, to different healthcare services. If not when we are young, then when we get older, we start to have to need this more. And I just want to give you the first example of what a movie title could be. Okay, it's just an example. It's just to give you an example to frame your own thinking. I like the title that says "Until Every Child is Well." Until every child is well. Wow, that means there's somebody in the hospitals and the doctors and the nurses and all those professionals that keep being in service for us until every child is well. I like that personally a lot. It just happens to be a title that somebody wrote already. It's a place called Boston Children's Hospital. It's kind of their slogan, right? Today's slogans are movie titles. That's how you can think of it too. So it's just an example of equitable access to public services until every child is well. This indicates that every child can get access to the public healthcare system, right? So it's just an example, but equitable access to public services can be so many other types of public services. But for the sake of the exercise today, let's stay close together and try to imagine, come up with another movie title about the healthcare space, right? That we can all have access in a similar, accessible way to good professional healthcare. Okay, what is your movie title going to be for this movie? I'm asking each of you now. I'd like you now to take a moment, think about it, and write it down on your piece of paper. Right? Call it topic 1, title 1. Okay? I'll just give you a few seconds to write it down. I'll have a sip of my semi-warm coffee. All right, so I hope that already now that it's working okay for you to be working alone, to be concentrated. I hope you understand me so far. I hope you're okay to open up for crazy dreams, imagine a best possible scenario for the healthcare public services in this example. Imagine how amazing it can be. Today we will not focus on how hard it is to get there and to make it happen, but let's just dream about what it can be, how amazing it can be, and write a title that tells a bit of the story of how amazing the world is now that we have solved all these challenges about access to public services. Okay? Okay. So I hope you're with me. I was curious to see you on the screen here because I don't see. There we go. I see. No, I don't really see you, but that's okay. Let's move forward. This was the first movie title that you just wrote. Congratulations. I will hire you again immediately, all of you, which I'm doing now, because we are about to write movie title number 2 for today. Okay? Now, I know that you are very interested in solving the challenges around food sovereignty. And this is very important. Food sovereignty, in my understanding, is where we as people produce and distribute and also consume the food, right? And we also have control of how it happens. So we are not only consumers anymore that are buying the food. We have a stake and a role to play in the whole food chain, so to speak, a distribution chain. So this is a very important challenge to solve. What will be your movie title for the movie you're producing, which is about we solved this challenge. Now we have eliminated the challenge around food sovereignty. All of us are now actively involved in the whole supply chain, from sowing the seeds, seeing the plants and the vegetables and the fruits grow, and harvesting and enjoying amazing meals together, hopefully in Medellín, and also give everybody else that chance to do the same. Okay, so now's your turn. Write down on the piece of paper your title number 2. Number 2. What is your title for this movie? And no cheating here. We need all your ideas. My example here is everyone is a farmer, every garden's a farm. It was just something that came up for me. It's like that ideal state of the city, of the country, of the world, where we would probably have this food sovereignty, where everybody is involved in the whole process. Everybody's a farmer, every garden's a farm. To me, that sounds nice. So I look forward later to learn what you think is a good title. Okay, so I want to take you to the next title. And I did say that we will create 3 movie titles, one for each of the challenges. But I think you're doing so well, so I'll give you an extra one. We could really use your talent as movie title writers. But this next one is a horror movie. Are you up for that? These other ones are pretty nice to think about, but this one is going to be a bit creepy. So here we go. So topic number 3. Your challenge number 3 was school dropouts. So this horror movie, is about the day every children left school, never to return, and it's the story of how Medellín changed if all the schools closed. So imagine a scenario, all schools closed for some reason. You woke up one morning, there were no schools, or they were not open anyway. And the children didn't go there. They couldn't. What would happen? What would happen to Medellín? What would happen to all of Colombia? What if this happened everywhere? Also here in Copenhagen, where I'm sitting today. What would happen? And what would your movie title be? So please write the title of this horror movie. I call it a horror movie. I think it's scary to think about. I think if it stays this way for many years, this will have consequences, right? We will never learn to read or write or do basic math. Is that important? I don't know. What would happen? We wouldn't maybe learn other languages, would we? Maybe we would. I don't know. What would happen if all schools closed and we would never go to school again? Our kids would never go to school. I don't know what would happen. It's up to you. Please write down a title. This is the worst scenario, right? At least to educators. So, all right. I hope you got it. I hope you got a title. But I want to get rid of the horror. Let's get these scary thoughts out of the question. Let's get back to the positive future, the good futures that we're here to build. Okay. So I want to give you a positive, nice version of the theme of school dropouts. My movie will be called The MEDELLÍN Magical Schools of Happiness. So this is where kids, students are happy. They love going to school. Schools are great. What's not to love about it? So for MEDELLÍN, what could this amazing story be titled? What would your movie title be for this movie? Where MEDELLÍN actually is so amazing. It is actually full in the future. It's full of magical schools of happiness, right? We don't know yet how we get there. That's coming in just a moment in the next exercise. But let's imagine these schools are full of happy, happy students. What's the title of this movie? Short title that inspires you and that could inspire others. Write it down. Also, this is also topic 3. So put it right next to the horror title that you made just before. Okay? All right. We are halfway through our work together in this session. I hope you're keeping up. I would love just to get some kind of sign. Is everybody okay? Are you along? Are you following me?
Yes, it's very interesting. I follow you.
Okay, cool. Thank you for that. Cool, but I'm sensing, even when I don't hear it, but I'm sensing that you are those change agents. You are the people, all of you out there, that can make this happen, that can make these dreams a reality. We'll figure out how later, but you're the ones, and you'll be doing this. So thank you for these movie titles. Okay, now let's move to the next exercise. But we are staying close to this theme of the magical schools of happiness. So we are staying in this challenge, okay? But now it's a little bit more than just coming up with the title. So I'm now offering you a magic wand. Each of you will get a magic wand. I wish I had one. I don't have a magic wand. Imagine Harry Potter. You all know Harry Potter and his magic wand, and it does magical things, right? I always wanted that. I can buy it in the toy shop. It's pretty expensive, and I don't think it works actually. But let's imagine I'm giving each of you a magic wand now, and that one works, okay? But only 6 times. So you can change anything you like, but only 6 things, okay? Turns out we can probably fix this limitation so you can do more. But for now, because of the limited time we have together, you can change 6 things about the schools in Medellín, in Colombia, actually schools everywhere. Remember what I said earlier. The challenges that we want to solve for Medellín are probably very similar to the challenges that we have in other cities and other countries, right? So, but we're starting in Colombia, and that's the case that we're working on together. So we want to turn every young person into a happy student. How are you going to do that? Again, we are working individually, and now you're going to need a piece of paper. If you only have one piece of paper, it's okay. You can turn it around so you have the blank back of the page ready to work with. Now, I'm going to show you a little practical piece of information, because we're going to fold this paper now. And I'm going to say something which is slightly different from what you see on the visual here. But what I want is to end up with, in this case, actually 8 different squares, right? So we are folding the paper, so we end up with 8 sections on the paper, ready for 8 different ideas. We're only going to use 6 of them, however, but it's very easy to fold this into 8 sections, right? And some are really good to do magical things out of paper folding, and it's amazing to see. I'm not that good, but I can fold the paper in half, and I'd like you to do the same. Fold it in half, then fold it in half the other way, and then fold it in half one more time, right? And when you unfold it, well, now you have like 8 different small areas, and we can now start to sketch one idea, one solution in each of them, right? So that keeps them separate from each other, which is what this exercise is about to do. So here's your paper, and in the first block, let's call it number 1, as you see on the screen. This is where you put the first idea. In just a moment, we place the first idea. We have 60 seconds to make one idea and to describe it. When you describe an idea, you can draw, you can sketch, you can use colors or just a black pencil, whatever you like. You can also just write some words that come to mind. Anything is fine, as long as you can interpret it later and share with your teams what this idea is about. That's all that matters. So idea number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So we're just going to use 6 of these areas here. Okay, so we're going to sketch 6 different ideas in 6 minutes. And that means that I'm going to pull up, I have a timer here, which I will be using, and I'll just say, hey, time's up, right? So let's move to the first. The first exercise of this kind. So we are now going to work on the challenge of eliminating school dropouts. Okay. Now this could go several ways, right? It could turn into that city full of magical schools of happiness. Could be that we're changing the future in that direction, or, which I don't hope, it could turn into this nightmare scenario. We woke up and there were no schools and no young people going to school. But we want the good scenario. We want the optimistic future. Okay. The best way that I know to come up with ideas without being stuck in the challenge and in the trouble of it, one way to come up with a good way forward to create new solutions is to ask a question. The question is, how might we? All your ideas from here on in this session must start with how might we. Okay? I will give you an example. So, how might we get our teachers to ask each of us what we want to learn today? Right? That's a question. It's a question that starts with how might we? And then the idea is that the teachers actually ask me every morning I come to school, hey Lars, I'm so happy to see you. I hope you're happy to see me too. What would you like to learn today so I can better help you? Now maybe this is actually what's happening from time to time, right? But I'm pretty sure it's not always how things work. And there are so many good reasons for that, right? This is not practically possible in most cases, I assume, right? But let's say I would like that to be one of the solutions to create these magical schools of happiness that every student is super happy. To get to that happiness, we need to have some solutions. We need to change how we do things today. What is it we want to change? That's what we are creating solutions for right now in this exercise. So my first example, and we are going to create 6 of them each. My first is just an example, was that if the teachers ask us what we want to learn, wow, now I could spend the day at school learning stuff that I would be excited about learning. I would be pretty happy about that as a start, right? I'm not saying this is solving everything. I'm just saying this is one of my 6 ideas, okay? And it starts with how might we? Always start your idea by asking a question. How might we do this? Okay? I look forward to hear how this goes. Okay? Let's try. Let's do our best. At least we're learning the technique, and then you can get better at it after this session and keep trying this way. I guarantee you this can really help you in creating solutions that people start believing in and that actually solve the problems that you're trying to solve. Okay, let's have a go at this. So get ready, put your pen or crayons or pencils or what you're using in the first block on first of the blocks of the paper, and get ready. And I'm now giving you 30. No, I promised you 60 seconds, didn't I? So 60 seconds to draw or write one idea that can turn all schools into these happy places where all the students are happy. What would you fix? What would you change in the schools today to make schools such a happy place that makes everybody even happier? Okay? Draw or write your idea. If you draw it, just draw it, right? In the beginning, let's get started. Draw your idea. If you can, try to frame this question with how might we actually do this, right? Okay, turn it into a question. 60 seconds. Here we go. And you have 30 seconds left. Five seconds left. All right, time's up for this one. Whatever you have now, just leave it and come back to it later. Now we're moving to create one more idea, right? Not this one anymore. Now it's time to empty your head to come up with another idea. It's got to be different from the first one. On your piece of paper, you move to the second block and get ready. And I'll give you 60 new seconds to think and to come up with another idea to something we can change in the schools today that makes everybody happy students in happy schools. Okay, so a second idea out of the 6. You have 60 seconds starting now. 15 seconds left. Okay, time's up. That was 60 seconds. Time flies, right? I hope now you have two different ideas. We could call these ideas solutions, as I said. Two different ways to solve something that today is maybe not making us happy. It's maybe something that stops us from the happy students. It's even something that causes some other students to drop out of school, which is one of the big challenges that you decided to solve. Okay? We are already here getting started on coming up with important things we want to change. Okay? So let's get ready. We need 6 different ideas, and I'll tell you why when we're done. But now first, I'll give you 60 new seconds in field number 3 on your paper. Move on to field number 3 and get ready. Come up with the third thing. Another very different thing from the other two, something else that could make us happy, something that could solve the school dropouts. Okay, I think you get the point of the exercise. Let's get to it. The 60 new seconds begin now. All right, that was quick. So that makes us already be ready to do idea number 4. So find a new space on your paper, an empty space, move your pen or pencil over there, and get ready to draw or to write. It's got to be a new idea, a new thing that we can change to make these schools a magic place. Okay? You might start to feel a bit out of ideas at this point. That's perfectly normal, but I guarantee you can all come up with 6 ideas. So let's try, okay? I'll give you another 60 seconds, come up with a 4th idea different from the others. Let's go. 60 seconds starting now. Fifteen seconds left. All right, time's up again. Now let's get the idea number 5 going, okay? Are you ready for the challenge? It's okay if it's starting to feel a bit challenging to come up with more ideas, but you can do this. I promise you. You are the creative ones. You are the ones living your life as students and with great first-hand experience from your days at school. Okay, let's do this. Idea number 5, and you have 60 seconds. Here we go.
Your microphone, Lars.
Absolutely. So time is up. That was 60 seconds. So you're doing great, and I was just enjoying the comments in the chat here. And you're doing fine. Yes, this exercise is strange and different. And as a matter of fact, if we are trying to come up with new ideas, new solutions to big challenges, we need to think differently, right? And we probably also need new ways of getting there, of finding those ideas. So new ways of working can be really important. And here's one exercise. We are just going to complete this particular exercise with the last of the 6 ideas. So have patience and be ready to kind of empty your ideas, your list of ideas of how can we change schools? How can we fix the things that should be better, should be different, so this becomes a dream school? Okay? Idea number 6 goes into whatever empty cell, empty place you have on the paper now. Okay, 60 seconds starting now. Here we go. And this is the last 30 seconds. You can do it. All right, time's up. So congratulations, everybody. I would like to know in the chat if you now have 6 different ideas. Please write in the chat if you're still with me. Also write in the chat if you don't have 6. How many ideas, different ideas, do you now have on your paper? Please write that in the chat. I would like to know. Don't write what the idea is. 7, right? Wow. And Ben has 6 ideas. Gloria, 6. 5-ish is great. 8, 5, 6, 6. Some of you went ahead of us. That's Brilliant. Well done. 6, 6, 6. 5 ideas. Great, Maria. Iliana, 5. Amazing. Well done. Catalina, 5. Now, I'm sure you're all great at math. So, yeah, 6 is in process. Exactly. That's fine. Keep it going. Now, I'd like you all in your next math lesson or whenever, try to add together how many ideas you have together, right, in total from this exercise. It's a lot, 5 and 5. Okay, somebody's bad at math. That's okay. Find somebody in your class who will add the numbers together, or ask an AI or something to do it for you, okay? So together, we created a lot of new solutions today. A lot. Now, they may not be particularly good, but they are the first. This is the first round of ideas that may be useful for solving the challenge of school dropouts, okay? But the one thing that maybe you noticed in the exercise is that you were actually able to continue to generate ideas, and they were different ideas. And you can actually continue even beyond the 6 here. Maybe you need a break, which you will get in a few minutes, at least a break from me. And then come back to this exercise and do it together as a group if you feel like, hey, we need more ideas. If you need more ideas, come back to this exercise and do it again. I'll share the link to this exercise so you have all the material that you can come back to it and look at it again and again and again, okay? So that's kind of my gift to you. It's a fun exercise, but it's also really effective at generating a lot of new ideas in very short time. And the ideas are all focused on solving the same challenge, okay? Now, before we wrap up in just a moment, I wanna tell you that I would encourage you in your groups to do the same exercise, but on your own challenge, right? Maybe you did this for school dropouts, but you're actually working on to promote food sovereignty, or vice versa. That's fine. Go ahead and do this exercise on your own challenge in your team, and see how many new ideas you can generate in short time. And when you think big, you think about the vision, the purpose, the big picture of how great things can be. You're going to generate a lot of ideas that might work, and you can try them out in the next stage of this challenge where you are actually doing, where you're out there testing your ideas. But for now, we want to generate many ideas. To get a good idea, you need to get many ideas. That's really how that works. Same for the third challenge, the equitable access to public services. That team should be doing this exercise as well on that challenge. Here are the 5 things again that I recommend you to keep in mind. Think global. You're not alone about having this challenge, right? We have it too. Let's talk together. Let's work together. Let's inspire each other on how we could solve these challenges. If you give me one idea and I give you one idea, wow, suddenly together we have at least 2 ideas, and they're probably going to get better when we generate a third and a fourth idea together. Then the big change, think big impact. Always be researching what you're trying to do. Research, because there's probably somebody else working on something similar. Maybe they have a solution already that you should know about. Science, facts, things are possible today that you cannot even